Closing Nation? Welcome to another episode of Whiteboard Wednesday. Got the two W's, man. This is not gang related at all, people. This is Whiteboard Wednesday. Hey, listen, here's the thing. Before we get into our episode, we're going to talk about greed and loyalty today. I got some really good stuff for you. But before we get into that, I want to talk to you like specifically if you are a loan officer or if you are a real estate agent or an insurance person, right? Or maybe even a builder, right? Somebody who deals in the housing industry. I'd like to help you get more referrals, and I'd like to pay you to help you get more referrals. Do I have your attention? Right? So one of the greatest things that you can do in order to get referrals as somebody who sells houses or is part of the housing industry is by offering a closing gift. Many of you offer flowers or a bottle of champagne. Some of you complimentary chefs. Some of you hookers and below. It's like whatever you're into, or I guess whatever your clients are into. And so anyway, I would like to offer you what I consider the ultimate closing gift. And I would like to pay you to give it away from me. Yes, I'd like to pay you to give it away from me. You see, we live in uncertain times. Right? We live in times where every time you turn on the news, whether it's fake or not, the people are talking about someone was shot here and a break-in here and a robbery and the Taliban and ISIS and nuclear bombs and all this like end of the world confusion. Everybody's scared to death. Even though we live in the most prosperous, safest time to be alive, like literally you walk out your front door, you don't have to worry about saber-toothed tigers or savage people trying to cannibalize you. You don't have to worry about any of that shit. We live in a great time to be alive, but everybody's fearful because of the way the media has programmed. And you can give the gift of security, man. When someone has safety and security, they can sleep better through the night. And what better gift to give somebody than the ability to feel good and feel safe while they're sleeping in a world full of chaos right now. And I'd like to help you be able to give them that. You can go to yourfreealarm.com and you can give. All you've got to do is after you close a transaction, you enter your client's information in there. We will give them a free security monitoring system. We will install it. We will put cameras in their house. We will put the box in their house. We will cover the whole thing absolutely free for them. And then we will pay you $100 for sending us the referral. It is a win-win situation. You get a closing gift. You get paid a little bit of money for providing that closing gift. They get the ultimate closing gift, which is safety, security, and peace of mind for their family. And then I get to install alarm and charge for monitoring. That's what we do. I know you're probably thinking, well, how do you make money, Ryan? Well, we make money by upselling cameras, doorbell equipment, monitoring, and some other things, right? But it's totally professional. Matter of fact, the people that work for me at Your Free Alarm actually used to work for the National Security Association. So they're federal agents that care about safety so much they left the government sector because who wants to work for the government, to come and work in the private sector and do big work. So make sure that you sign up your clients and yourself over at yourfreealarm.com, and we'll give you $100 for every referral you send us. All right, so let's talk about loyalty versus greed. You know, I was having a conversation with a client of mine. We just got back from Miami, and I was having a conversation with him, and he says, man, where do you find the people that work for you? It's like, I mean, you have this amazing amount of loyalty and they really give a shit. He's like, I've never experienced that atmosphere before. And he said, and they can out drink us and out smoke us, right? He's like, I've never been able to put together a team like that. And I looked him right in the eye and I said, I find people who are loyal and I can train them to do anything, but I cannot train loyalty. Loyalty is what I search for in people. So like if you talk, Lindsay, for example, she's been with me for almost 5 years, now 4.5 years. And we first met, her son was in a situation where he required medical attention. And my oldest son, Jax, his grandfather, was the CEO of a huge hospital chain for a long time. So I made a phone call and got her son in there to skip the line. This is before she even worked for me. Later on down the road when she decided to apply for a job with me and she gave it to me, she pledged her loyalty. She's never left. She's never left. Patrick, same thing, man. He used to just be my homeboy from up the street. He would stop by my house 2 or 3 times a week and hang out. And we would just do like bro stuff. We go out drinking and all that. I was single at the time, so we go out drinking and chasing ladies and all that kind of good stuff. And, eventually I was like, dude, you're such a good friend. Let me teach you this stuff. Even though he had no idea about it. It's like, let me teach you this stuff. And I'll work with you and I'll make you a master of it. And then you can help take me to the next level. We'll go there together. And again, Pat's been with me for about 3 years now. My camera guy, same thing. He was driving a forklift working in a warehouse, but his passion was operating drones and doing video work and taking pictures of me for some reason. He was like obsessed with it. He's like, just Ryan, this guy's so handsome. I'm just going to just everything that I think about is taking videos of Ryan. He's nodding his head, yes, behind the camera now. And so anyway, he was driving a forklift, and so he wasn't chasing his passion. I gave him an opportunity not only chase his passion with us, but for me to be able to send him contract deals as well. Now at the same time, he's worked for me like almost a year, here in like a month or so to be a year, and he's made more money than any year before in his life. And I've trained him on how we do this stuff. When we get done shooting Whiteboard Wednesday, I don't have to no longer sit down and talk to him about how he makes it. He makes all the cool intros and knows exactly what to do. He's traveled all over the country with us, not going anywhere. I look for loyalty. I can train somebody into having talent because all talent is a process of repetition. If you repeat a process, you do something enough, you become good at it. Even if you were bad at it in the beginning, you can go watch my old videos. Even if you were bad at it in the beginning, you eventually get good at it. I remember when I was first doing videos, I would get on videos and I would have to just like do another take, and I would do another video and do another take. And here we are 1,500 videos later, and I could give a shit if I had to do another take or not. We just do it in one, baby. That's all we do. One take, son. Anyway, so I want to talk to you about the qualities to look for in hiring somebody. You want to look for loyalty, but a lot of people have greed. You know, there's lots of instances in my world where greed has cost other people, because I'm not a greedy person. I don't have a Rolex. I don't carry a Louis Vuitton. I don't have Louis Vuitton luggage, or I'm wearing $40 pants and $30 shoes. And I'm not a greedy person. I overpay my staff more than all the other guys that are in my position pay their staff. I take good care of my people. I comp a lot of their stuff. I'm just not a greedy person. I make more financially than I ever thought that I would ever do in my lifetime. And I've learned to live within my means according to that, right? There comes a point where you're like, fuck it, what are you gonna do with the rest of it, right? You keep making it, but what are you gonna do with it, right? It's a good feeling and everything else, but I'm just saying that you stop wanting to impress people and things like that. And so I'm not a greedy person. But greed has cost a lot of people. I've had clients that would come in and learn our stuff and then try to take off with clients from my group, thinking that all these people were gonna follow them, and nobody walked out the door, and all of a sudden their greed cost them the relationship with me, the network we had, and it cost them their reputation. I've had plenty of people that thought that they were going to steal my stuff and then sell it and then not pay me my cut. So greed is a short-term satisfaction, right? But it's not a long-term business plan. So why would you want to bring somebody that you're going to have a long-term relationship with? Because you can't look at hiring somebody as like maybe they're just going to be around for a minute. You want to look at it as like, if I invest my time training and hiring someone, I want them to be loyal. I want them to be around for a long time. But in order to get loyalty, you have to give loyalty. Just like if there's two greedy people that enter into an agreement together, right? Like a little punny, right? They enter into an agreement together. Well, what happens is you have two people that are self-centered. When you enter into a loyalty pact with somebody, it's like, I'm loyal to you if you're loyal to me. I was with my top sales guy, drunk out of my mind, last Friday in Miami at this club Story. And you know, when you, like they say, there's two things that really define more of who you are. When you get more money, you start acting like who you really are. And when you have more alcohol, you start acting like who you are. And I kept telling the whole night, just be loyal, man. I'm be loyal to you. You just be loyal to me. And if we don't go anywhere, we'll take over the world, man. The next day he's like, you remember saying all that shit to me? It's like, hell yeah, I remember. I don't remember none of it, but I'm telling the story. So here's the thing. We want to look for qualities in our people that we're going to keep in our circle that represent loyalty. But first, we've got to know what we've got to eliminate, which is greed, right? So when people do what's in it for me, when people start asking what's in it for me, well, what's my cut? What's the benefit that I do? That's somebody who's coming from a self-serving standpoint. And you have to figure that that's some degree of greed, right? Like if someone is really only concerned about themselves and not a team player, that's when you start to think that, hey, that's a greed mindset. When someone's always asking for more, that's another greedy mindset, right? Because I believe this, when you need something, your contribution, like the things that you have, is a direct reflection of the contribution that you've donated, whether it be into the marketplace, whether it be into your relationship or anything. So people that have to ask for more as opposed to just receiving more, they're coming from a greedy place, because if they're taking things and they need more, then it's not going to add up for them. But if they're giving, then more is going to come back to them. I know that sounds hokey, it's some law of attraction shit, but trust me, it works, right? The other thing is if they're not a team player. Took me a minute to write that down there in my chicken scratch. But they're not a team player. If someone's only worried about, only concerned about their role in the company, or what their specific job is to do, or what, you know, like you want somebody who's not saying, well, is this all I have to do? I don't have to do that too, right? And I'm not going to need to be a part of this. Or if like in a relationship, you want somebody that's like, hey, that's fine, but this is off the table. right? Like you don't want that. You want somebody who's giving, someone who represents loyalty. So let's talk about these three things real quick, since it's been a little bit longer video than usual. But what's in it for me? Like, get rid of those people, right? If someone starts asking what's in it for them, if they start being self-centered and concerned, they're probably not going to have any loyalty to anything other than themselves. If someone's always asking for more without contributing to where that reflection gives them more, then that's another sign that you want to stay away from as well. And when you're interviewing somebody, if you can just tell that they're not a team player, right? You can have the best point guard in basketball, and he can be stone cold, but if he's always covered and he won't pass the ball, you're going to lose the game. So what you want to look for is loyalty, right? Someone who's giving. Because giving, like, you have to give loyalty. But here's the thing, in order to get loyalty, it's like this reflection that we just talked about. In order to get loyalty, you have to give loyalty. Like, if you're going to commit to a relationship, let's say, like in my case with the woman, I have to give my loyalty to her before she's going to give her loyalty to me. I have to pledge that, hey, I'm not going to sleep around. I'm going to take care of you. I'm going to love you. I'm going to take care of our kids together. I have to pledge that loyalty to her in order to get that loyalty back. Very few relationships work where it's like, hey, you will be really loyal to me and bang nobody else, and I'm gonna go hoe around town, right? That's just not how most relationships work. So you want to look for somebody who's giving, right? So someone who thinks of themselves second, which is the next, they come second. And now I'm not saying that they will put you first, but I know the Kool-Aid drinkers that I have working here at Break Free Academy, what they do is they put this company first. Right? They put the interest of the company first above their personal opinions with each other, above their dramas that they might have, because it's a workplace like everything else. Sometimes somebody snakes a sale, or sometimes somebody, like, it's just shit happens, just like any other corporation. We're not perfect, but it's bigger than them. So the decision that's made, they don't worry about, because they know that in the long run, it's not about making money, it's about changing lives. And the reflection of that is that we make money. And the third thing you want to look for loyalty is someone who is a long-term speaker. And so when I say long-term speaker, you want somebody who talks about their plan 5 years in the future. You see, somebody who's looking to come up quick, that's a sign of greed, right? So you're looking for someone who talks about in the future. You know, when you have a relationship with a girl, again, and we'll use that example. Who am I to assume people's sexual genders with all this PC shit these days, right? But if you have this, here we go, Ryan. But I'm gonna save the rant for another video. But like, so if you have a girlfriend, and she starts talking about, you know, hey, in 6 months from now or 2 years from now when we have kids, she's thinking of being loyal to you long term. When you have an employee and they're like, hey, you know what, here's a 5-year plan I put to prosper inside of your business, they're speaking and thinking long term, because loyalty is not like something that's just short term and then over with. Even though most of our relationships, you would think that that was the case, right? That bitch cheated on me. Anyway, so the thing is, though, loyalty is something that is a long-term thing. If you're going to be loyal is long-lasting. So here's the thing: when you're hiring people, when you're letting people in your life, look for the 3 signs of greed and look for the 3 things of loyalty, right? When someone starts speaking long-term, when they talk about giving themselves, and when they talk about coming second, those are the people that you want to align yourself with. But in order to attract this person, you got to be that person. So hey, if you dig this, share it on social media, Facebook, LinkedIn, everything else. Make sure you go to the Hardcore Closer fan page on Facebook and subscribe, like, share it. Let's spread the word. Let's find some loyal people and some loyal fans to get down for the Hardcore Closer Nation. Later.